Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and I cannot believe the Loki writers are regretting these things about writing about Loki. This is what he decides was his big flaw in Loki. Loki was the most damaging piece of media to nearly any other franchise in the history of media creation because it contradicts so much, it tears down so many characters that aren't even in the show, and fundamentally rips the world apart piece by piece and rips its main character apart piece by piece. It's an abomination of a show, and the multiversal rules are only part of the issue. The more problem is the lack of free will. It doesn't make any sense. Like, did this happen before or after? There's been references to multiverses before the events of Loki and after the events of Loki. Where does it all take place? It just made it a jumbled mess. It is not, the problem isn't that it's so clear, is that you muddled it more than ever. And that is the problem. Well, the primary one. And, you go over to work from Loki, and some of them went to work on Doctor Strange, and then they make a whole new set of rules for the multiverse because Loki made it that afterwards it was pretty easy to jump from multiverse to multiverse universe. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is still part of the MCU, just a different universe, they jumped from universe to universe no problem. And Spider-Man, they had a spell that made it pretty easy, at least relatively, to pull people from another universe into ours, or the main MCU one. But this one is making it seem like America Chavez is the only person in the multiverse who has that abilities. They're constantly contradicting themselves. And the Loki writer, yeah, he made it so that the contradictions are worse than ever. So I really don't think that this is what he should be worried about, is how clear they are. No, it's kind of the opposite of that. You just muddle the whole thing. Head writer of Loki, and he was in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness recently. He claimed he regrets defining the rules of the multiverse in Loki so clearly. Well, yeah, because you're going to directly contradict them in Doctor Strange. Walden's comments came in an interview promoting the upcoming Doctor Strange. He told the publication, "We worked pretty hard on Loki to make it as airtight as possible, but there were times when I was like, oh shit, I wish I hadn't defined that so clearly. I don't know why I had to be so specific with my time travel television show about the rules of the multiverse." You want to have rules. Rules are very important to realism and immersion in a story. But the Loki rules contradicted themselves all the time before even contradicting Doctor Strange, so I don't even know what he's talking about. He doesn't have a very good grasp of time travel in the multiverse, at least from these two products. They're jumbled messes from a concept standpoint, let alone a characterization and fitting into a broader universe writing. It's just very, very bad writing from this guy. Why do they keep hiring him? Because he gave us two of the worst things that Marvel has ever done. He added, "But I was glad that I came in with the institutional knowledge of the multiverse and was able to get to the creative team with Doctor Strange on the same page as me on everything. Because with Loki, that's the most important thing that you're dealing with." Yeah, if you're getting everyone on your page, why did you contradict yourself? This whole article, and, well, not banning comments as well, but this whole interview is based on sand, and his approach is based on sand because he's like, I made it so clear, and that tights it in for future writers. No, you made it such a jarbled mess that writers are going to be after sifting through the nonsense that you wrote for years to come just to get any sort of coherent through line through it all. Jesus. Kevin Feige back in 2021, as you indicated before we started recording, and the multiverse is coming up in a big way. So is there interconnectivity that people... Okay, so yeah, it's just talking about the other Doctor Strange movies. And yeah, the other projects that came up this year. I have a review up for Doctor Strange. You really don't need to see many previous works. You don't need to see Spider-Man to understand it. You don't need to see What If to understand it. You need to watch a trailer for What If to understand it. You need to see any of it. Doctor Strange, the first one, and maybe Infinity War and Endgame. That's all you really need to see for this. Loki, you don't need to see for it because there is no through line. They should be connected just because Loki is like, ooh, we broke the multiverse. It exists now. So there should be a connection between, creating the multiverse and Multiverse of Madness. But there isn't, even though there's writers involved. The same writer was involved in both projects. This entire Phase 4 is a jumbled mess. They're not communicating with each other. Even the rumors that there wasn't a plan in the initial 3 phases of Marvel, they figured it out. They still made it coherent with what was going on. Phase 4 is like, what the fuck? They're just throwing everything at the wall and hope something sticks, and they are not talking to each other, and that is causing a lot of problems in this universe. It is tearing down realism. It is tearing down immersion. It's just making it harder and harder to get invested in this world if they can't even keep consistent with themselves. The same writer can't even keep consistent with themselves. So yeah, another Hollywood pretender getting all high and mighty about his talent, even though it's subpar at best, delivering two of the worst products I've ever seen, superhero content wise. Loki was far, far worse, though. It did far more damage. It did damage to people who weren't even in it, like Iron Man and Captain America. They got destroyed in it as well. But it's just crazy to see his priorities in this situation. The Loki writer, just his takes is quite impressive to see the direction that he's coming at this from. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Anon. If you like what I do here and want to see good, compelling stories that Hollywood will no longer give you, check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues. Books 1, Down in Flames, and Book 2, Apocalypse Then, currently on sale. Book 3, Kill the Dark, coming soon.